Namaste, Mooji.
Namaste.
I was contemplating on this. This is a quote you said. The mind cannot intimidate the pure self.
Yeah.
It can only intimidate the idea we have about ourselves.
Yes.
This feeling of coming in and going out. The attention is swinging in and going out.
Yes.
And when it is inside, there is no thought about anything else. It is just pure observation.
Yes.
I'm just observing as the observer and not as the person. And there is no person. And when the attention swings out, there is this drama of life. And I'm inside the drama. I'm not as the observer. And there was this feeling. I watched many of your Satsang videos, and there was this part of me which was very much excited to meet you. And there is this other part of me yesterday, when I came here and sat, this part was very much hiding. This part was hiding and it wanted to just sit in the corner. And I just wanted to expose this part out. I wanted to export this out today. That's why I'm standing here and talking with you.
It's very good. Because I myself also remember many years ago sitting in Satsang very much like this at the feet of Papaji. Well, not so close to the feet actually. Sometimes you go in Satsang, you find someone with a broad shoulder, you sit behind a bit. Because something is afraid that he might look at you and then you're in trouble or something. No? Something hiding, a feeling of hiding. And yet, not totally you're hiding, because you're here also. So there is this duality. There is some sense of, I hope he doesn't pick on me. But you are benefiting from listening to other people, and then every now and again you peep out a bit. And I still see some people do that. So I remember like that. And then you come and you say, I want to expose this. I'm not in partnership with this anymore. It may continue, this feeling, but now being exposed, it's much more like an item being observed more. More distance will come with that. Just like that. You see. This awareness, the concept of awareness, which also arises in awareness, by the way. Don't think, because sometimes the mind also is talking about awareness as though it is a phenomenon that I'm approaching. But the very thinking mind, thinking about awareness, itself is appearing in awareness. You are that awareness itself. It is the most natural thing. But because we are so accustomed to using the mind, it is our tape measure. We go around the world measuring things. It's the instrument for interpreting or measuring change or something, assessing movement. But it cannot do this with awareness. It is itself. It is itself just the character in the book. Just like we gave the example that, can you imagine some characters inside the book discussing amongst themselves secretly, so the author doesn't know about it, what the next chapter should look like? All those thoughts would be the author's thoughts, appearing to be the individual player's thoughts. Mind is like that. It is going to become as obvious as this example I've made for you, that the only power it has is because it is invested with so much importance and with identity. And to that extent, we've become a bit blind to our own seeing. It's almost like you're seeing your own blindness, and you're saying, I'm blind, but you're seeing that blindness. Isn't it funny? You see? So the mind has been given tremendous importance. It is, the mind says this, and the mind says that, and the mind says that. Well, who is saying the mind says this, even? Who is saying, the mind is saying this, and my mind is doing that? What is the status of that one who is reporting about the troublesome mind? It is a mixture of being and conditioning and identity, which is arising as the seeker who has some powers also to observe and is troubled by the mind. The same one you started mentioning when you say, I said that somehow the pure self cannot be intimidated by the psychological mind. It is only the idea we have of who we are that is struggling with our own projections and our own concepts. So in effect, the idea we have of who we are is suffering from other ideas it has about itself. Watched in the awareness we are. And still we go, and the very is watched in the awareness itself. But awareness is not a watcher. Even to say the awareness is observing, it's not observing. Observing happens casually in the presence of the awareness itself. I cannot say that it is deliberately observing. For what reason? Spontaneously, all activities are perceived without effort. But we have the idea that effort is needed to observe, which is, then we believe this concept into reality. And all of this, in the light of your own satsang, is becoming increasingly clear for you. And then you're going to be saying, that is. That will be the expression of your eureka moments. Because again, it is recognizing the obvious. It's a strange thing to say, missing the obvious. Because you think if it's obvious, you wouldn't miss it. But we are coming to see, actually, I had the idea, I was missing it. This is the power of thought. Not just thought by themselves, but thought believed in, thought identified with. Then somehow they flourish. They take on a magnitude, a power, and a potency that you impart from them. This is how powerful you are as consciousness.
Mooji, when attention is here, there is just stillness and observing of everything. And when the attention goes out, basically with the identity and the personality, I see when it's in here, there is stillness, and when it's in here for a long time, it's my body, it starts sweating and it feels like feverish and it will become lazy-ish, kind of. But I feel that's okay. But when it goes out, mind is, it's somehow doing some monkey business, and it's trying to buy some time.
Yes.
It wants to keep the attention over there, on this side.
Okay. I want to open up a bit more space for you about that. That attention is also phenomenal. Meaning that attention is one of our most powerful powers, basically. Because wherever attention goes, we are registering this as experience. So it is so intimate, we refer to attention even as I. I go. I went, something. The attention and body. But something observes attention also. There's a space subtler than attention in which the movement of attention, the activities or inactivity, the restlessness of attention is also reportable, observable. Pay attention to that. just as we are speaking now. We're speaking about attention. Sometimes my attention goes out. Oh, isn't it watched then, obviously? The attention is going out. When it comes here, I feel very happy. And when it goes out, you see it's up to monkey business. When it's come in, it's into monk's business. Monk's business, go out, monkey business. Okay? And something observes both extremes, and it's not in the bubble of any of that. It's independent of the interned attention and the outgoing attention even. Acknowledge this. Take a few breaths in that. Begin to confirm, contemplate. Let your mind acknowledge and stabilize itself in that understanding. Confirm that even attention is moving. What are you doing? Nothing as awareness. The sound is coming. What are you doing in order to perceive it? Nothing. This is the marvelousness of the consciousness. The temperature, you are aware of it. What are you doing to? Are you taking out your thermometer to measure the temperature of your being? Something is aware. It's sufficient. Like that. So again, we speak about attention, and many times we speak, oh, put the attention here. And myself, I also will say sometimes, bring your attention to the place of awareness. And immediately, like this. What did you do? Nothing sweaty. You're not tired for doing that. Somehow, something just brings here, and you're here. And you see that, don't pay attention, don't be writing the story of the moving mind. Let it be there. Don't mind about the mind. Stay as the awareness. Don't police the mind. Don't be a traffic warden in your own head. No, let it go. But you stay as the awareness, and you're going to discover something very powerful in yourself. That if you are in self-focus, everything slows down for you. The blood pressure of the world slows down. I'm talking like this because I'm using my own. My doctor is telling me these things. When you bring your attention to the awareness itself, pay attention to that, be one with that, somehow the jumping mind becomes more distant for you. It doesn't have that magnetism. All that we are speaking now, you can confirm now. I'm not giving you homework about it. This is the directness and the immediacy of observation and the powers of consciousness. Otherwise, you may continue saying, how can I keep my attention always here? I said, you know what? You're here. Let the attention go then. Attention, go where you want, but I'm staying here. And see what will happen. Let's do it. Say to the attention, go where you want to go then. See if you can survive without me. I will stay here, you go. And see if it works. What happened? Will the attention say, you coming or what? So like this, gradually your inner environment, your being remains silent, spacious. Not lazy. It's not laziness. Sometimes the thought comes, now you're being very lazy and so on. Don't buy this. Don't purchase any thought. Just you stay put like that. If something is of value to the beingness, then it will supply the energy to fulfill that need.
As you said, don't buy that thought or purchase that thought. But this thought is not coming from inside, but the environment around me is putting this thought to me. You're becoming lazy, you're becoming lazy.
Yes, yes. You have to be stronger than that environment. because you see the fruits of bending your knees to mere judgments that come from outside. And those judgments are only empowered by your own adding to them, your own respect for that, which sometimes you put above your own direct experience. You follow? Sometimes we give too much importance to something which in your heart you know, but this is true for me. But you're giving more importance to something someone else says because you think I should satisfy their projection or something like that. You see? And then if you don't, then you feel like you're being a rebel. Or, he's very disrespectful to family or something like this. So all this, don't become too entangled in that. It's not that you have got to put up a fight like this. You can try as much as you can to say to those who you need to explain something to them that, I'm well within myself. And I know it does not seem like what you probably expect me to do, but I'm happy here and I have to follow my own dharma. No disrespect to you like this. You can explain. Still, maybe you don't succeed. Some people, no. You'll find your way. But don't compromise upon your heart's truth as much as possible. Don't do it. Because you'll only end up regretting and being resentful, suffocated. You see? If you have to be a rebel like this, then so be it. If you can transcend your own mind in your hometown, amongst your own people, and the people who think they know you, sometimes more than you know yourself, if you can hold to your truth here, then the whole universe belongs to you. You can go anywhere. If you can only be true away from home, you better go home and check it out.
Yeah, Mooji, I find this little bit challenging to be the self in my hometown because everybody is coming and intimidating and they think that the person I was 10 years ago is the same person now and they're coming and talking to me in the same way and they want me to fit in their projections, kind of like this, and it's a bit of a challenge.
Yourself, you have to somehow trust. Trust also in your own experience, in the authority of your own seeing. Trust that first. You see? Understand that the people who are not attracted to the path of insight, some people, they don't want to go too far into that. They're quite content for the moment with their own judgments, their own projections. But something has called you to a deeper exploration. You are discovering that. In fact, you would think that we would invest in people like this who bring more light to our life. But no. It's not like that. So, if you trust in your own journey of seeing, be with that. Try respectfully to relate to those who are open enough to have meaningful exchange with you. Not that it becomes your mission. You're not going out to do that. Just as you go, sweep as you go. Like I say, don't buy extensions for your broom, but sweep as you go, somehow. You don't intend, I'm coming here to bring all of this to my own town. No, don't. Just you be yourself. And if there is authenticity in you, naturally, spontaneously, you'll meet those who are brought by consciousness, arranged by consciousness to meet. It will happen like that. And little by little bit, those who were scoffing, they will start, maybe there's something. But whether they come or they don't come, that won't matter to you deeply. It's not in your hands. Just you be yourself. Very organic thing. Not take up any mission. Now I want to enlighten the world. No. Just you be the light yourself. But don't think even that you are the light. Just you be content in that beautiful place. Somebody's going to come one day and says, why are you so happy? I say, well, I don't know. No, I want to find out. Something they will come. They will want to know. They will want to know. They'll want, something will be drawn beyond their own upbringing, beyond their own cultural limitations. People will be drawn. Wherever there's a human being who is empty of stuffiness, empty of projections, empty of past, empty of future, empty of thought, empty of self, sentient beings will come to you. If not human beings, animals will come to you. Something will come to you. Because it is the only true attractive power in the world.
Mooji, I want to expose one more thing. My mind is trying to intimidate this one part of me, which is very proud.
Very proud.
Yeah, very proud that me, as the seeker, as a personality, is seeking the path of truth.
Yeah.
This part is very proud, and I just want to expose this.
Yeah. Yes. It's so good. You feel that sense of some pride or something like this, and you gradually turn away from that. Ignore it. It's nothing. Keep ignoring it. Mind has lots of tricks. As I said, the ways of the mind are ancient, but you are timeless. The ways of mind are ancient, but you are timeless. You can be without the psychological mind, but it cannot be without you. It has no support. You, as the pure consciousness, is the support of all the manifest world you perceive and live in. We don't know that yet. Sounds like a big thing to say, but it's actually quite simple, because it's one whole. Another thing I've said, if you do what is right inside your own heart, it will not turn out to be wrong for someone else. If you do what is right inside your own heart, it will not turn out to be wrong for someone else, because the truth is not partial. It benefits all. If you pay attention to the little picture, to the ouchies and oh, and yes, you'll think, oh my God, what? No. But if you stay in the stillness of your own self, you'll see that it benefits the greater space. They will come. Maybe in hindsight, people will come and say, wow, that was a real big bite I had from you. But my life changed because of that. And I'm sorry I gave you such a hard time. Some children, they are saying that to their parents. Mom, I'm sorry I gave you such a hard time. I couldn't help it. I knew I was doing wrong, but I could not help it. You see, thank you for being so patient with me. Some people, on hindsight. Thank you for punishing me also, because I was asking for it. And I kept getting more and more bad because you didn't punish me, and I know I should be punished for that. Sometimes people say that thing. Sometimes they don't. Whatever the scenario. Don't pay attention to too many of these things. What the parents think, what the society think, how it is outside there, what is inside, when things come in and it goes out. Stay as the self. Stay as the self. It's not a prison. When I say stay as the self, it can seem to the mind like it's a restriction. Why does he keep saying stay as the self? Why doesn't he put, an arrow in my hand or something? Why doesn't he show me some tool? I say, stay as the self. Why? Because it brings you back to your infiniteness. Your eyes remain panoramic in their seeing. The world does not feel claustrophobic because you see from here, it is just the play of light. You come to see this increasingly, increased joy in you, because the identity makes a lot of fuss about nothing. Oh, this thing is happening and this is... Actually, nothing is happening. Unless and until the mind says something is happening, experientially, nothing is happening. What constitutes an event? What is an event? It is very, very subjective. What your mind sees and says, oh, this thing happened today and then this thing happened. We may be walking as a group of 5, 10 people, and each one has a different report what happened today. So it's very subjective. For one who is still, nothing to report. Nothing to report, particularly. Nothing is so exciting. He said, but then what is the food? What is the light? Then what makes life interesting for such a one? So, what interesting? Harmonious, peaceful, content, wise. All this is there for you. And the natural joy of being. Why are we searching so much outwardly for pleasure or for joy? Because you have not found the joy of being, which you inherently are. This is your discovering. And this has been the report of people who have sat, allowed that listening to take place, to follow that pointing, and to confirm for themselves. But this is so. I'm just here. Actions, reactions, interactions are taking place naturally, spontaneously, in the presence of your own being. You are the witness of them, but not necessarily an energetic witness, not a deliberate witness. You're not watching a movie of life and monitoring what's going on. You're not the secretary to yourself, writing down. Somehow, in that coolness of your own light, everything is taking place, but nothing is registering tightly, oh, this thing really happened. And even if you say this thing, it doesn't leave any footprints inside the consciousness deeply. This is healthy mind. This is the state of healthy mind. Like this, it may be that outwardly, you have many things you have to do outwardly. As I said yesterday, if you take the example of somebody who is juggling, inside, they have to be still. If inside you're all juggled up, you cannot juggle, you're confused. So you can do many things seemingly outwardly, you're all this. But inside there is a stillness. Same thing. In the life, you may be do this thing, but nothing is overwhelming for you because inwardly you're in that beautiful state of neutrality, of harmony, of peace. You're not saying this with words, simply you are that. You may be breaking stones for a living. Inside you're in total serenity, total solitude. Such a one is the Buddha itself. Your life is not determined or defined by the activities of your body or even thought. Independent of that, more subtle, in that effortless place, because only that can be called truly natural for you, which itself is effortless. It's not trying to be itself. It is. Can you find this in yourself? That which just is. It has no image, has no history. It has no ambition, has no future, has no past. Has no responsibility in that way. No obligation, not in that way, like that. All its expressions arise out of love. And everything that love is expressed to is its own self, appearing as the many, as the diverse. How do you know this? Sometimes the most profound knowing is not taught. It's only discovered. It's revealed. I say to you only this: be in that place. Discover this place. Do your yoga, do your meditations, do whatever you want to do. You see everything is taking place in the presence of that. Enjoy. Does it mean that life becomes a bed of roses or something? Maybe with a few thorns, yeah, it can be there. It can be whatever. I'm not telling you how to get a nice, comfortable life, sweet, and no, it will be whatever. But it will not impact upon that consciousness in any way that creates distortion or suffering for you. Will there be pain? Yes. Pain is part of life. But suffering, no. Suffering is more about attitude than actuality.
Mooji, there was this sense of deepening.
Of deepening?
Yeah,
yes.
I am. This happened twice, and both the times mind somehow managed to get me out of this deepening.
To get you?
Out of this deepening, sense of feeling deepening, sinking into myself.
Yes.
I felt so peaceful and so sinking into myself.
Yes.
But somehow mind managed to take me out of this stage.
The only know this, that you do not have one single natural enemy in the universe apart from your own thinking. You have to transcend the influence of your own thinking. That is what is transcendence. There's a smell of burning in here, of some, I don't know, some electrical thing maybe. And you have to overcome the influence of your own psychological thinking like that. You see? Let's look at this picture. That there is only the pure. You're that unmixed consciousness, pure being. In order for all this play of diversity and experiencing variety, it's as though an aspect of itself descends into identity. It needs a body, because without the body, the consciousness cannot taste experiencing. But somehow it seems inevitable that in doing this, the consciousness will get identified with the body and believe I am the body. As soon as this is happening, or simultaneously, it seems mind, who is also consciousness. Consciousness descends into the aspect of mind. The play of duality then is working together when consciousness expresses in the mode of being a person. It also comes in the mode of being the mind, the psychological mind. And those two will play as both advocate and adversary, as both friend and enemy. This relationship will be there. The consciousness must transcend the projections of the mind. It must discern when mind is truthful and when it is not. And through that tension, that relationship, it will grow. It is as though the consciousness creates the sense of a problem in order to experience transcending it. Can I say again? It's as though consciousness devises or creates the sense of a problem in order to have the experience of transcending it. Maybe this is what is life. It has to be that tension, it has to be that friction, that even after the realization of the self, there's some tension, some bouts of identification, so that perhaps that tension keeps aspiration going. It's like a guitar when all the strings are slack, you cannot play any music. There has to be some tension so you can get that twang again. Maybe there has to be this twang. If you understand this, then you'll be fine with things, because you'll see that even that twanging and everything is only known through the awareness. Awareness is primary. It is the original. Everything is acquired, secondary. It sprouts later, subsequent to awareness.
Mooji, there is no problem, but only thing is mind is just buying time.
From
That's the only
From
thing.
whom is it buying time?
It's
If I buy something, I might find a seller, no? I'm going to buy time. From whom is it buying time? Or maybe it is selling time. Maybe the mind is selling time. Hello, Mr. Consciousness, you want a bit of time? Yeah. Because mind is time and change. Maybe mind is selling time.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah. You can say it also is buying time. It wants time. It creates, it creates distractions so that it can live on, have more time, you may say. So the more time mind has, the less time you are in, the more time you are engaged in, the more distraction you are from your own self. Therefore, paying attention to the self arrests the mind. All this, I want to tell you something, that all of this is not that, for the rest of my life I'm going to have to be watching the mind. And not at all. At some point, it becomes increasingly easy anyway. As you continue to recognize your true position as awareness, because like a reflex, you come to awareness, any problem? No. Any problem likely? Impossible. You're speaking like that. Can it fade? Never. Are you happy? I don't know. More than that. Yeah. And when the mind come back, no problem. Okay? You talk like that for a while. tomorrow morning. Oh, Mooji, am I? So we want to see what happened. What happened? Because people speak like that, everything is so perfect, and then, I asked like that. And I said, we could make a big book called And Then. So, what is your and then moment? We will want to know. I think the whole world wants to know what is the and then moment. Everything was perfect. I was in the Jesus consciousness, man. And then, so let's go to and then, to the point of and then. What and then what happened? Let's break it down second by second, frame by frame, and look at what happened, because it seemed a catastrophe must have happened, because you were so, nothing can touch me, invincible. And we have to find out what is that. And then is mind itself.
Now I come to see Mooji, it's now and then. This is the thing which got me out of deepening. Of
yes. This is also a thought. This is, I understand. Energetically, some change happened with that. Of course, I cannot deny that at a point there was a clear space of being, real joy, like, this is enough for me. I can stay like this. Even if this is not enlightenment, I'm okay with this. Okay? And then, bang, crash. Okay? I cannot deny that there is a phenomenon that takes place like this, and beings are asking, how can I stabilize the and now, and don't go to the and then? Please help me, you see? And I'm pointing you, is there an and then for awareness? For whom is the moment and then? Is it for the pure awareness or something else? Then you must clarify now. Stay as the awareness and watch and then. Who will do it? Somebody will do it. And then. And now? Did and then transmute into and now? And now what? And now and then is still going on.
It's continuous.
All this is thought-based activity, watched in the field of awareness itself. This is not a teaching. We have to be in this together, looking together, checking in, confirming. It has to resonate. There has to be a synchronicity of that understanding in you. Not thought. Teaching, learning, thought. Experience. Direct understanding, confirmed, verified. You say, for the moment you speak like that, yes, the mind came and stole my light. The mind came and stole my light. What is the root of mind? What is the root? Are you coming from two different sources? You, as the seeker, and your mind. Are you coming from two different sources? Can you find out? Why should mind be such an adversary? It's trying to kill you. But ultimately, both of you shrink down to the same thing. Because mind in its natural state is the self. The seeker in his natural state is the self. Can a tree that bears poisonous fruit poison itself? Can a poisonous snake die from its own bite? I don't know. The question's coming. Can a poisonous snake die from his own bite? Somebody must tell me this thing. If the root of mind and the root of your own self is the same, can the mind kill you? These are mysteries, paradoxes, mysteries for the human mind. We have to work it out. I point you to pure awareness, beyond quality, beyond quality. Can you confirm, you see? Are you established there? And who are you? Is there you and awareness, or is it one? Somebody please tell me, but not theoretically. Someone please show me. Also, there is mind, but don't have a mind. You may still say, yes, my mind, and so on. But one time, this will become a reflection for you itself. My mind. Copyrighted. My own brand. My own brand of mind tells me this. Your brand is a bit different. You have a peaceful brand. I have a terrorist brand. I terrorize myself. Don't worry about all these things. If you are able to stay, as I say, stay as the awareness. Can I just have a show of hands? When I say stay as awareness, does that speak to you? Does that somehow do you understand in your heart when I say stay as awareness? Who understands it? Very good. The power of your understanding will spread to everybody here, energetically. To say stay as the awareness itself. Because when we say stay, usually we stay as this mixture of presence and person. Presence and person. There are some who only know the sense of person. Like, I'm just a person. So what are you talking about? So if I say, but the person you can observe, I said, what is he talking about? Okay, what you talking about? They can't understand. So spirituality, if it means anything, is that it enables you to somehow come to a subtler place within yourself so that even the sense of your person or personality is observable. Meaning that you sense that this is the activity of what you would call personality or ego or mind. That there's space behind where there's observing of that. As you become more clear that the person, personality, and its stories and its idiosyncrasies and fears are all phenomenal to the seer, the seeing place, that they all appear in front of, so therefore I can talk about it. When that becomes clear, naturally you're moving into the realm of presence. Presence is a higher state of consciousness than person. It means you can listen, but you're not purchasing. You can understand. Activities are taking place, but you don't define yourself by activity. You're aware always that you're in the position more of a witness than as a tangible participant. That the body is moving and doing things, but that doesn't mean you are doing things. This is the state of presence. The difference between sadhaka and mumukshu or something. Meaning, the one who is more deeply inside the understanding. Then it comes to another point, which I don't know how much I can talk about that right now, where the presence itself, because many people in spiritual practice are aspiring to get to or to stabilize in the state of presence, meaning that the life is more intuitive, more spontaneous, more peaceful, naturally. That witnessing of the manifest functioning of the mind and the body and the world is taking place in you. You're aware of that. You enjoy all the diverse manifestation through its unique texture and taste and everything, but you are not really attached to anything. More subtle than this comes a point where the sense of presence itself is perceived. Somebody says, yes, but even the presence itself is perceived. Now, who are you who can say presence also is perceived? Presence also is arising in a greater field now. When you're in the position to observe presence, you're in the state of the unborn, the undying. There are no concepts there. Where is there? Some distant place? No. Here. Here. Everything is here. You're in your subtlest place. Have you dismissed presence? No. It is there also. But now presence also becomes in time. Person is definitely time. Then presence also is in time. Then you cannot speak about this thing. Still you can speak with all the beings in different ways. I did this yesterday, it's time, so on, so on, so. But this language is more superficial to you. Your powers have changed or deepened. You cannot be known through data. You're not data-based. Beings, they perceive you, those who are sensitive enough, and energetically, your radiance inspires, alters, heals, unifies, harmonizes the world itself, in fact. Beings don't have to know that. This is the power of the self. Yourself. Not personally. The personal you must transcend. Not to say, oh, you have to kill. No, not kill. But you transcend, meaning you transcend that domain of influence. You come into subtler and subtler space within your own potential. Into that space which is distanceless, indivisible, unchanging. When that is confirmed in you, you lose all fear which is due to the changeful. You can move in the realm of the changeful. and all your actions benefit the totality, is in service to the totality, not to the person. The nature of the ego, it is self-centered, but in a selfish way. The nature of the liberated one is also self-centered, but not a psychological self-centering. He's properly centered in the self, meaning not self-centered in psychological sense, you see?
Thank you, Mooji.
Thank you.